Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back today, man. We got a Just Thought Lounge video today. Shout out to Just Thought Lounge, true crime documentary. Today's video, students' private messages reveal closeted affair, the murder of Jay Lee. You know about this?
I don't think so. I have to see it, and then I know.
I came across this as recommended. Y'all know we've been doing body cam, so this and another one we might do have came across. Sorry, y'all. And crazy situation, bro. The reason why I asked you, you do know about this a little bit, but I'm trying to see if there's information that we might not know, but we're familiar with the case, not in quite detail. We came across it, I want to say like last month.
Oh, is it their case?
I don't know what case you're talking about, because we came across a lot of cases.
Okay, well, let me see.
But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
Liking it with a thumbs up.
If we enjoy this, we'll start doing other like true crime documentaries. Just outside of, you know what I'm saying, just always body cam. Mm-hmm. But doing other like true crime type stuff, you know. She loves true crime. Mm-hmm. You know. She one of them, what's the name of it?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. Criminal Mind, baby. You one of them Criminal Mind babies. You know what I'm saying? Grow up, you stuck with your grandma. All you got to watch is Criminal Mind and SWAT.
Well, my grandmama was different.
What you watch?
In the heat of the night.
All right, man. Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
In the early morning hours of July 8th, 2022, 20-year-old Jimmy J. Lee donned his silver dressing gown, gold cap, and gray slippers and exited his student apartment in Oxford, Mississippi. He left his beloved Pomeranian.
We ain't seen it. We ain't seen no footage.
Well, I did.
No, you did. You ain't see this.
I didn't see the clip of him coming out of his house, but I seen a clip of like in the parking lot going.
We saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
And then we saw him in getting picked up at the gas. The other dude getting picked up at the gas.
Yeah, we seen a couple clips here.
And then him riding by his parents in the crib.
Yeah.
But we got filled in because my mom was following this case. And it's a crazy case, though.
Mm-hmm.
His student apartment in Oxford, Mississippi. He left his beloved Pomeranian, Lexus, at home, though he rarely left without her. 2 days later, at an impound lot where it had been towed, detectives searched through Jay Lee's abandoned vehicle. Inside, they found his bank cards and a keyring. But Jay Lee's iPhone, just like him, was missing. The content of that cell phone would hold the key to his disappearance. His private messages would not stay buried, and they would eventually lead investigators to his alleged killer. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case takes us to Mississippi, where the private life of two young men converge. One of them, a confident, open, and fun-loving spirit, and the other from a prominent local family who is living a secret life. This is the story of secret late-night hookups, of salacious Snapchats, buried evidence, and hidden truth, and what happens when it all comes to the surface. Let's take a look. University of Mississippi graduate Jay Lee spoke with his mother Stephanie every day, often more than once. They chatted in the mornings while Jay prepared to leave for his internship, a position he was undertaking for credit towards his master's degree in social work. Jay had completed his undergraduate degree early and with honors. Jay was known to be extroverted. The word most often used to describe the young graduate was vibrant. He made friends easily and was always connected. He texted family and friends throughout the day, often checking in with his mother midday and again in the evening. July 8th was Stephanie Lee's birthday. Every year, Jay called and sang his mother happy birthday over the phone. Following his first celebratory message sent that day at 2 a.m., she messaged back around 7, but received no.
What year was it?
2022.
2022?
I think that's what he said. That's what I wrote down, but we make it the year again.
No response.
July.
From the family home in Jackson, Stephanie messaged and called. As the family continued with their plans throughout the day, she sporadically placed calls to Jay in Oxford, then to the Oxford PD, pleading that they perform a welfare check. She reached out to Jay's friends, who likewise called, messaged, and set out searching for him. From outside his unit at the Campus Walk apartments, friends could hear Jay's dog, Lexus, barking. But there was no answer at the door. University police pulled video surveillance footage from Campus Walk. It showed Jay leaving his apartment a little after 4 a.m., coming back about 40 minutes later, then leaving again that morning at 5:58. Jay wore a dressing gown, a cap in his favorite color, gold, as well as a pair of slippers. It did not appear that he intended to be gone for very long. Pinged locations from AT&T showed Jay's iPhone at different locations after midnight until 7:28 a.m. on July 8th. The last two locations were near to Stone Park and Residential College South, not far from his apartment complex, though he was certainly not at home. His banking transactions showed no purchases beyond automatic payments had been made on any of his debit or credit cards since the day before, July 7th. Pleas were made by law enforcement as well as the Lee family to the public for any information that may be useful in locating Jay Lee.
I want everyone to know that whether you're black, white, green, polka dot, it doesn't matter who you are, he was there to help if you saw the need. I'm asking that if anyone knows anything or sees anything, say something. Call, contact the law enforcement. Just tell them what you know. This is my plea that you help find my child.
Following Jimmy's video and the UPD press release, investigators received a call from a local towing company called Bandit Towing. The company services Molly Bar Trails, an apartment complex catering to University of Mississippi students. On the afternoon of July 8th, the company had towed a black Ford Fusion that had been left in the lot and was not owned by a resident. The car had distinctive features. It had a gold stripe down the center of the hood, an I Love My Pomeranian bumper sticker, and the license plate Jay Lee. There was no doubt as to the owner.
Next.
Photographs taken by the towing company showed the car parked over the curb and with its front tires pulled far to the left. Investigators...
It looked like somebody just swooped in real fast.
Parked it, got out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of them, like, I'm going to pull up, pop out. You know what I'm saying? And typically when people pull up like that, especially when you pull up, pop out, if it's your home, you having to run in there because you either left something on, you left something, you trying to dash in there. It's not a permanent part. Sometimes when you pull up like that, and you park like that, and then it's at somebody else's crib, it's confrontational. It can be confrontational. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pulling in with a sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. So I don't...
speculated that this was indicative of a parking...
And I wonder, is this in front of the other dude's apartment complex? Like, even not in an apartment complex, but like his actual apartment building in the complex. Was it in like out in front of his, or is it parked in a visitor spot?
Or is it a random?
Or is it a random? Yeah.
Car to the left. Investigators speculated that this was indicative of a parking job done in a hurry. Inside the vehicle, they located a key ring as well as Jay's credit and debit cards. Additional keys and other personal items, with the exception of his phone, had been located in his apartment. The car could be traced to the Molly Bar complex via security camera footage. It was captured traveling in that direction on the morning of July 8th, just before 7:30 a.m. At no point is the driver of the vehicle clearly visible. Only Jay Lee's fingerprints were found on the steering wheel. The towing company were not the only ones reaching out to the university and Oxford police. A good friend of Jay's, 27-year-old X-ray technician Khalid Fears, offered an insightful piece of information to investigators. On a break from his night shift at a local hospital, Khalid had been FaceTiming with Jay as he exited his apartment that morning just before 6 a.m., the last time that anyone was known to have seen or spoken with him. Jay told his friend that he was on his way to meet up with a romantic interest. Without revealing the name of the man he was meeting, he explained that the two had been intimate earlier that night. But things had turned sour.
Could that have been the time when he left and then came back, like left at foursome for 40 minutes and came back?
Yeah, that's what he said.
That was I'm saying, could there have been a time when they had been intimate or whatever?
That's what I'm assuming, just from what he just said, that when he left at 6 a.m., he was on FaceTime with his friend. He was going to meet. They had been intimate earlier that day or morning or whatever. Yeah. Or whatever time.
40-minute little booty call?
Huh?
Yes.
That the two had been intimate earlier that night. But things had turned sour and they had an argument. In fact, Jay told Khalid that he had returned home and immediately blocked this love interest across all his social media accounts.
Oh, wow.
Only hours later, however, they had somehow reconnected and he was willing to give it another go. His mystery man had promised to do with him, or rather to him, something that he had never done before. Through their video connection, Khalid saw the open sky in the background and heard the sound of the Ford Fusion starting up as the call ended. For the second time that night, Jay was on his way to the home of his unknown lover. Khalid messaged a few hours later. "Hey friend," he wrote, hoping to see how it went. He received no reply.
What the hell you mean by do something you just mind my business, huh?
Investigators may not have had Jay's phone, but they had access to his iCloud. On July 22nd, Detective Douglas finally acquired the messaging data. He found messages between 5:30 and 6 a.m. that sounded as if Jay Lee was going to see someone, just as Khalid had told them. The exchange was with a username, RedEye24. Beginning at 5:17 a.m., the messages read, "Who the F is this?" RedEye replied, "Come back," followed by, "You comin' or nah?" "No," Jay replied at 5:27. "Why not?"
What was time? Oh, okay. 10-minute time frame from when he first.
"Nah." "No," Jay replied at 5:27. "Why not?" "You fool. Like, you done did some questionable stuff, but that there was too much. Have a good night, Tim." At 5:37, Jay wrote, "Yeah, now it seemed like you just trying to lure me over there to beat my ass or something." RedEye replied, "You trippin'. I do feel bad because we cool, so I ain't trying to end like this." "How we cool and you barely want me to text you?" RedEye tried to reassure him. "I'm saying you're a cool person." At that point, Jay suggested that he would return, but on one condition. He wanted a physical act from RedEye as a show of mutual consideration. The response came moments later at 5:45, and RedEye agreed. Jay left his apartment before 6 a.m. At 6:03, he sent one final message. "Open," it read. Investigators assumed he had arrived at RedEye's home. He was not seen or heard from.
So he's only 3 minutes away from.
Yeah, he's like right down the street.
Yeah. I guess these will be considered like college
Student, yeah.
like college students apartments,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Possibility, Oxford, what's that? That's Ole Miss, ain't it? University of Mississippi. Ole Miss,
yeah.
Ole Miss, yeah.
From again.
That's a quick
The RedEye
drive.
account was traced back to an email from the Dirt for Diamonds podcast. The host was University of Mississippi graduate, 22-year-old Shelton Timothy Harrington Jr.
Well, thank y'all for listening, and this is another episode of Dirt for Diamonds podcast, and I hope to see y'all next.
Tim Harrington hailed from a distinguished and respected family in Grenada. His grandfather has been the pastor of a local church for over 4 decades. Since his university graduation, Tim Harrington had been working with a friend to operate a moving business. He also assisted his grandfather with the upkeep of various rental properties owned by his family. Once connected to the Snapchat account, investigators were able to link Tim's other correspondence with Jay Lee. They found that the conversation between the two had originated earlier in the night and from a different account. These messages further suggested that the two were in a sexual relationship. They also indicated that Tim was hiding his sexuality publicly. To Tim's original account, Jay wrote, "I just wanted to be able to say I had you. Be the down low again. Fun to have been the first guy. Experiment over. Also, on your floor, so you should get that up, by the way. Oh, and the nude was fake too. Back to block now." After this, Tim attempted to call Jay 3 times unsuccessfully. Jay Lee had blocked Tim across all of his accounts. It was after Jay took this step that Tim, using his alternative RedEye account, reached out once more and convinced him to return to his apartment at Lafayette Place. It was less than half a mile away from Campus Walk. On the morning of July 8th, after meeting with Jay Lee at his home, Tim Harrington searched for the location of a Walmart on his Google Map app, then drove to one. He was captured on camera examining large garbage bins, though he had no need of one in his apartment complex. He eventually purchased a roll of duct.
That is true, though. In an apartment complex, you don't need no trash bin, especially a big one. But I know he'll use it because from previously, like he stated, he had a moving company business. Mm-hmm. So he could have said, hey, and he was helping oversee properties his family owned.
He could say he was using it for something like that.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's
tape
sad.
And returned to Lafayette Place. Later on, he was captured driving his white Ford Escape past various locations in Grenada, including RS Cleaners, Wade Incorporated, and Emmanuel Baptist Church. After the Walmart trip, he switched vehicles, having picked up the box truck used for his moving company. His phone data corroborated these movements. By mid-morning, he arrived at his parents' home in Grenada, where video footage showed him wiping his shoes before retrieving a shovel and a wheelbarrow from the house. In earlier footage, he was seen wearing white and black tennis shoes, but later he switched to rubber boots. By the evening, Tim returned to his parents' home, unloaded the wheelbarrow from the truck, and left again. Investigators first spoke with Tim at his home, inquiring about the nature of his relationship with Jay Lee. He described Jay as an acquaintance, but denied having a close relationship or any recent contact. He also offered a rundown of his movements for July 8th, noting that he picked up the box truck later that day in preparation for a house move. His business partner, however, contradicted this assertion, telling law enforcement that no moves had been scheduled for that day. During this initial interview, Tim also omitted potentially critical details, namely that he had been in the vicinity of the Molly Bar apartment complex that morning. Footage obtained from the entrance of the complex showed Jay Lee's car entering at 7:25 a.m. The car had been tracked driving from the area of Lafayette Place, though not directly from the building. 9 minutes after the car pulled into Molly Bar at 7:34, a figure in black shorts and a gray hoodie was captured jogging from the parking lot. Investigators believe...
What, hold on. What apartment was he bringing the car back to? Was that Jay apartment?
I think. Well, I just know Jay apartment. I think it's called like Campus Walks or something. I don't know the name of these.
Footage obtained from the entrance of the complex showed Jay Lee's car entering at 7:25 a.m. The car had...
Because he made it back to... What's his name?
Tim.
At 6:03. Now it's what,
7:25.
About an hour and a half.
But we don't know who's driving.
But we have had people reach out to Jay literally around 6 something. He hadn't responded. And they have been messaging him.
Had been tracked driving from the area of Lafayette Place, though not directly from the building. 9 minutes after the car pulled into Molly Bar at 7:34, a figure in black shorts and a gray hoodie was captured jogging from the parking lot. Investigators believed this individual was Tim Harrington. During a second interview held at the police station,
That looked like the same pants he had on. Because he had some shorts on.
this individual was Tim Harrington.
But who knows?
During a second interview held at the police station, Tim amended his timeline and his story. He admitted to having a sexual relationship with Jay Lee and that they had been together on the night of July 8th. He also stated that he had been for a jog near the Molly Bar complex, where Jay's car was left, around 7:30 a.m. the following morning.
What?
Indeed, there was no denying his presence in the area. As he jogged from the direction of Molly Bar, he encountered a friend at the Rockets gas station.
And the only reason why I'm saying like what is because I didn't know he openly admitted to like, yeah, I was there, and the results of the case. That's the reason why it's so shocking to me. It's because I'm like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much
because
evidence.
His thing now is like, at that moment, okay, they see and have all this stuff that you didn't expect for them to have so soon. So you feel like there's no way out, in a sense, like in that moment. So yeah, I'm going to admit to it. Because now you have to be like, okay, well, he admitted to being in the area, but it's like putting him as far as like having something to do with the actual, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
at the time, the missing individual.
And it's just so, I don't know, I'm just sitting here thinking. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you good.
Keziah Carter offered Tim, who was dressed in his black shorts and gray hoodie, a ride back to Lafayette Place. Keziah recounted that Tim had been sweating and was slightly out of breath, though not nearly to the extent that one would expect had he been out for an extended jog in his hoodie in the 86-degree heat. At the station, Tim was asked by detectives what he thought may have happened to Jay Lee. He suggested that the 20-year-old grad student had met someone for casual sex, and then they kidnapped him. Detectives immediately interpreted this statement as unintentionally insightful and incriminating.
Facts though.
Searches for Jay Lee continued for weeks and months while the investigation was ongoing. Tracing Tim Harrington's cell phone location data, teams were sent out to remote locations across Oxford and Grenada, but they failed to locate Jay or any indication of where he might be.
I'm always thinking about him, but it gets deep sometimes where, you feel like you're falling apart just thinking about he's not here.
It is a nightmare because nothing like this has ever happened to us. He is not the type of person to just go missing or not contact us. If you know anything, please just come forward, honestly. Just talk to us and tell us something.
A movement on the University of Mississippi campus held rallies to increase awareness of the case.
I didn't know Jay Lee, but I would hope that if one of my family members went missing, that people would care. And you don't see that as much when the person who's missing isn't some little blonde girl.
Tim Harrington was arrested and charged with murder. He was released on a $250,000 bond pending trial. The state theorized that Timothy...
That's actually a low bond, too. Typically, in a situation like this, I've seen it where something similar has happened where they have $1 million bond.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The only problem, in the cases I've seen, the roles are reversed. Instead of it being male missing or male presumed to be deceased, it's a female.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, where the perpetrator is still a black male, but it's a female, and sometimes the situation it's a white female, and so the bond amount is typically higher.
And it's
So they can, you know what I'm saying? In this situation, it appears as though he comes from money.
Mm-hmm.
$25,000 for them is probably not a lot to be able to bail him out on a case like this where they believe he's innocent. You know, sometimes families are blinded by the evidence where, I get it, it's still your child. You know what I'm saying? In certain cases, like, that's my child. What you think I'm gonna just let my child? Yeah, your child is a murderer.
Yeah.
Or it appears to be he's a murderer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Maybe he needs to sit his ass in there and suffer the consequences of the crimes he might have committed. Like, I digress. That's insane to me, though. 250?
That's nothing, bro.
I seen people give more for that for less. A little dope charge. I've seen people have $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $1 million for a dope sale.
Facts.
A $250,000 bond pending trial. The state theorized that Timothy Harrington was desperate to keep his relationship with Jay Lee secret. They believed that...
And I wonder, like, what was Tim trying to keep under wraps? Like, was he now Jay was trying to be more physical with him, or was Jay more pushing to have a relationship with him?
What you mean? What he was trying to keep on the wraps? That he's...
No. I'm saying because obviously he said it was something pertaining to he wanted him to do something to him, and he was like, nah, and he like, well, we over. You get what I'm saying? Was Jay trying to be in more of an open relationship? Or he was trying to do more physical things with Tim that Tim didn't want. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, but I'm just saying, like, what caused you to? Were you assuming that Jay was gonna out you or something? You just like, I gotta get rid of you.
I think it was one of them things of you, because that was their first time doing something with each other. From my understanding, from what Jay Lee said when he was like, it was good that I was your first whatever experiment over, whatever, something like that. So it made me think that this was
a one-time thing.
Not a one-time, probably like this was their first time or whatever the case may be. As far as like Tim being, I guess, involved with a guy, you know, he's always been, I guess, curious, or he used DL, whatever the case may be. But I do feel like maybe this was their first time with each other doing something, and maybe he thought that Jay Lee probably will tell somebody or to get out because
he also said, I want you to do something to me, and he was like, I'll come back over if you willing to do it, and that was the reason why he went back over there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, or
with that, I don't know. I don't want to get into that because I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, but yeah. So I really been sitting here thinking, and I'm like, at the end of the day, because it's just so sad that you have Jay Lee that is open. He is, you know,
living
about
his life the way
unapologetically. Like this is me. What you see is what you get. And then you got you over here that's, you know, you feel like you can't be your 100% self or whoever, you know, whatever, because of who your family is and because you raised, you know, your granddaddy a pastor and you raised in like all that type of stuff.
And then y'all family wealth and all that stuff.
Like,
and they got their family reputation.
Yeah, so you have...
That's that Southerners, you know?
Yeah, so you have all of this. So I'm sitting here having to... And that could be so dangerous. And... I don't know. I have so much going through my head right now because I'm just like, bro. And then, because in the end, you end up admitting to the police, yeah, we were sexual, or yeah, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, well, if you just go be like, yeah, we were, like, why take my life? You know what I'm saying? Why take his life? What was the point? Like, I'm really trying to wrap my head around.
I guess he felt like he was trapped that he had to admit it. You know what I mean?
But if it was just gonna be that,
because it's too much evidence to prove that they had been. You couldn't deny it.
You didn't have to take that boy life, bro. Okay, prove innocent until proven guilty. Since we don't even, you know, but you know, it just like things ain't just putting things together. Let's be for real. Yeah. Like, come on.
Was desperate to keep his relationship with Jay Lee secret. They believed that after the two argued, Tim feared being exposed by Jay Lee, and so he coaxed him back to his home to strangle him. Indeed, Google search history from...
Ooh, what is... Nah.
So he coaxed him back to his home to strangle him. Indeed, Google search history from Tim's devices supported this assertion. Only moments after Jay agreed to return to Lafayette Place, Tim searched, how long does it take to strangle someone?
Wow.
There's no weapon. There is no blood. How do we know there's been a murder committed? There's nobody. There's no gunshots heard. I mean, nobody has seen a struggle or heard of a struggle. So how do we know that someone is dead? And how do they know that Timothy Harrington did it? I'm just baffled. I know in my heart that he did not commit murder. I know the type of young man he is. He does not have it in him to kill anyone.
You don't know who
believe that your brother...
Man, we watched we were just talking about this earlier.
I hate that. And that's the thing with me. I've grown up with people that are sitting in prison right now for murder. Like,
I know a plethora of people.
Like, growing up, I'm like, oh, this person, like, they would never, like, I know they family, they come from a good this, that, da, 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 da. Man, you don't know people.
I know people in jail for murder, for vicious.
You don't know who people turn out to be, who, like they start hanging around these people and they start getting into this. And
I know people I expect to be in jail for murder that they ain't even on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know people. And when a situation like this, because I've been around people in situations like this, and they will do anything to not get this information, stuff like this out, because they have this reputation to uphold. And I'm just like, bro, you do not know what people are capable of. Like, I get you his attorney, you got to say and do whatever, like, you know, I get that, but man,
and strangulation, bro, it's gonna be a lot of, and I guess he can't if y'all find his DNA inside the home, again, like I always say, if you've been intimate with someone or you're in a relationship with someone of some sort, your DNA is going to be inside the home. So,
the type of crime or what he chose to do, that's what I'm trying to say. The act was, it wasn't messy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be.
The only part that you might have it is saliva, possibly vomit, and possibly
like I cannot talk. Secretions from the body. Maybe like sometimes some people may urinate in the process, or
throw up,
or something like,
or even blood, because some people blood.
Just something, but
it's not gonna be very messy.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was a struggle, if like maybe like DNA under the nails, keeping.
True.
Like, I don't know, because they don't have a body,
right? They found the body after the trial.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, recently they found the body.
I didn't know
wanted
that.
to say that to the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You
We're
asked that
sorry.
early. I was
Because
gonna roll with it and say no, and then at
well,
the
you should have
end.
just said no, because I like I
But
said.
no, they have not like recently found the body.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
And they how they also able to identify Jay had a necklace on that says Jay.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how they was able to determine. But trial and everything, no, there was no body.
Okay. That's
so
hard.
Now more evidence has appeared.
Yeah.
But I think that was everything from what I'm saying, I believe happened after this documentary came out. I believe, I might be wrong, he might be able to address things.
Killed Jimmy J. Lee.
I do not believe my brother killed Jimmy J. Lee. Based upon the person that I've known for the last 22 years, well-mannered.
Bro, we all gotta stop saying that. This person's not capable. Nobody is capable of murder until they commit murder.
Right.
Nobody is a murderer until you take someone's life. Now you are a murderer. We are humans, right? Mm-hmm. We all are human. We're all capable of murder. The human race is capable of murder of some type of degree. Yeah. You go out here and kill an animal. You murder that animal. We are all capable of murder in some sort of shape, form, or fashion. Taking another person's life, we all have that capability in us. It's just whether or not you act on it or you don't.
Well-mannered, leader, caring person, non-confrontation.
Hinds County Assistant District Attorney Gwen Aggo was appointed as a special prosecutor to try the case. The Lafayette District Attorneys had declined to seek the death penalty, though Tim did face a potential life sentence if convicted. His defense team had successfully argued that a fair trial could not be secured inside the county limits of Lafayette. Jurors were selected in Hattiesburg, about 250 miles south of Oxford, and transported by bus to Lafayette County. They were sequestered for the proceedings.
So reading some things like I do, and I saw something and it said, the rest is silence. Because I was thinking, what makes up a life? Jay's death is in silence. No more financial transactions. No more social media posts. No more contacts with his mother, not checking up on her, not on her birthday. No more contact with his dogs. No more anything. The plans for grad school, to move, the dreams. All proof that Jay is no longer with us. But right before Jay gets to his apartment, when he's headed over, right before he gets there, just mere minutes, Timothy searches how long does it take to strangle someone.
The biggest gap in the prosecution's case was the lack of physical evidence. Not only had they never located Jay Lee, but they had failed to define a crime scene. Searches of Jay Lee's fusion, of Tim's escape, and of the box van were not performed until over 2 weeks after Jay went missing.
Oh, that's a long time.
The same was true for the search warrant obtained for Tim's home in Lafayette Place. DNA and fiber evidence was lacking. Over 70 search warrants had provided the state's case with...
The Lafayette Place is where he stays at.
It's where he stays at, yeah.
So he basically moved a car from over here. Because 9 times out of 10, the car was originally parked in front of his apartment complex. Well, it was parked in front of his apartment building. What even more indicated that Jay Lee had been there at the time of his disappearance.
Very little. Cadaver dogs had indicated inside the apartment. Investigators found a Walmart bag with latex gloves inside. They found a single acrylic fingernail. They found a gray hoodie. At Tim's parents' house in Grenada, they found a pair of black shorts and a white t-shirt, similar to those worn on the surveillance video. It was not exactly a smoking gun.
DNA evidence, blood, urine. trace evidence whatsoever. They don't have one scintilla. That means anything in legal terms. First of all, that a death occurred in Lafayette County if it did occur. Second of all, any trace evidence in this apartment, 0. I'm not saying speculatively, it is their proof.
Which is bullshit though. Because he had to, but that's when we gotta hold the legal process as far as the police accountable for their shit.
Yep. It shouldn't take that long for y'all to be like, man.
But also, there is proper change before we can get a search warrant.
Yeah, I do know that. And that's the thing, when things like this happen, I have 2 weeks. I have over a week to clean up.
That's a lot of cleaning you can do. I can do that every day.
I have something I can do. What you say, every day. I'm washing walls, baseboard, everything.
Like I said, it's strangulation. Ain't that much blood or like certain things, and the DNA that the cadavers might hit on, because it's gonna be bodily fluid. Technically, if it's saliva or anything, he could say, "Hey, we were messing around. That's how that saliva got there."
He's already admitted to them.
Vomit. We were messing around. That's how that vomit got there. It ain't blood. Blood is not there. They were messing around. Ain't no telling how. Whatever.
So you can use them.
Yeah.
And
because of the way he did it.
That sucks, bro. Yeah.
That a crime was ever committed inside our client's apartment, or in the parking lot, or in his car, or in Jamie's car. Nowhere.
Defense attorney Kevin Horan put Jay Lee's personal life on trial. Following claims that he was not passing judgment, the attorney proceeded to imply that Jay Lee's romantic rendezvous provided an opening for reasonable doubt of his client's guilt.
I hate that.
Mr. Lee's conduct prior to this night and the manner in which he conducted himself. I'm not passing judgment on the young man. Those are facts. Things that occurred in his life, it was not unusual for him to be going out in the middle of the night. I think evidence going to show. I didn't make these things up.
So basically, you're just trying to say he a hoe.
Basically.
He out
here bullying everybody. So
basically, he a little scandalous.
It could have been anybody, but it wasn't my client.
Because he's prone to be going out.
Just because I'm going out at this time. Who am I going out to see? Literally, it's there.
And y'all will have phone evidence to show if he's in communication with multiple people.
Like at that moment, at that time, regardless of what somebody done did the day before, the week before, at that moment when somebody, this person is missing.
Also,
who's the last person this person was talking to and about to go meet up with?
That's what I'm about to say. And the last text that Jay Lee has ever sent said open. Basically telling him to open the door. Who did you send that to?
Tim. He even said your name in a text message.
And the account links back to you.
It links back to you.
Through an email that you use.
For whatever podcast for school, whatever. Like everything is there.
That shows that he was in a communication of your client, but
and I get and I
exactly. What you
and I get. I understand. Like for something, like everything's not just cut and dry, whatever.
And I understand you gotta argue for your client.
Argue for, but it sucks, bro. Yeah.
The defense's argument was not well received by those close to Jay, including best friend Jose Reyes. The two had met and bonded at an Ariana Grande concert, only to discover later that they had the same major at the same university and had lived in the same student building.
Flamboyantly, as basically as a woman, correct? A lot of times.
He dressed as Jay Lee.
Okay, it's Jay Lee. But I understand, but if someone
He just dressed up. If you just looked at him, he appeared to be dressed up as a woman on a lot of occasions, or at least in a feminine manner. Is that a fair statement?
He dressed very fashionably.
Okay, all right.
Come on, friend.
To diminish character.
Come on, friend.
That's what it. I don't want to keep lingering, but that's what it is. It's to diminish character, though.
So, would that also be a fair statement that he, quote unquote, liked to hook up with people that were on the down low?
Excuse me?
Is it a fair statement based on what you know about Jay Lee that he liked to hook up with individuals that were, what you testified earlier, were on the down low? That he liked to do that? Is that right?
What's the relevancy to this question, sir?
What's the relevancy?
Can you rephrase it? I'm sorry.
Well, that whether or not Jay Lee liked to hook up with individuals, I'm not saying whether it's men or women or what, but individuals that were on the down low. He'd like to do that, correct?
No.
Jay Lee down low?
No, ma'am. As fashionably as he dressed, no, ma'am.
So it was obvious that he was gay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But when opposing counsel was talking about participating in the down low culture, I think he was referencing Jay didn't out people.
Correct.
Khaled also took the stand. He described his relationship with Jay as one of genuine friendship, though he was several years older and occasionally offered advice based on his own life lessons.
This is one that he was on FaceTime with, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would tell him that like a down low man or like a man who isn't comfortable with their sexuality is not someone you want to be out here hooking up with. I was like, because, you know.
What did you tell him?
I told him, I said they will kill you before their dirty little secret gets exposed.
Unlike Khaled, who saw the pleas for information from law enforcement and immediately reached out to share what he knew, Tim Harrington had kept to himself. The night before the disappearance was publicly announced, he searched for Jay's Twitter account. In the days following, as local news was flooded with requests for information, Tim performed numerous searches, including one for Molly Bar Apartments on July 10th. This search was conducted before the UPD had located Jay's car.
To the right.
Yes, ma'am.
So he took it to a whole separate apartment complex.
That's what I
That's why I got told.
You're not going to take it back to Jay's place. You're not going to leave it at your place. He took it to a rental place. Yeah, that's why I got told. Yeah. You just dropped it off somewhere and went on.
He searches the Molly Bar Apartments. UPD on the 10th released the press notice that...
Do y'all not have video footage I'm sure y'all have video footage of Tim's apartment.
Somebody get in, leave it time.
Hold on. Jay got good surveillance at his apartment complex. You telling me Tim that comes from money ain't got good surveillance at the apartment complex he stays at? Because I'm sure he comes from money, he's gonna stay at a nice apartment complex. Even though it is in a you know what I'm saying, college, there's different levels of apartment complex.
Yeah.
So you telling me y'all ain't got no surveillance of him of the car leaving out of his apartment complex? You should have
street cameras,
something that would show the indication that this car is leaving out at a certain time from that vicinity, or even arriving at that vicinity.
Yeah.
Jay Lee was missing this same day, around this same time. At this time, UPD had not found the vehicle yet. We didn't know where it was at. And once that notice comes out from UPD, he Googles Molly Bar Apartments at 3:10 p.m.
On July 11th, he searched Ole Miss Police and Jimmy Lee. The next day, he again searched Oxford MS Police multiple times. In the following days, he typed Jimmy Lee, find Jimmy Lee, and Ole Miss Police repeatedly, but he did not contact law enforcement. In an effort to display the thoroughness of the investigation, Assistant District Attorney Ago asked after every person of interest that detectives considered.
Early on in the case, Jose Reyes was a person of interest, basically just because the family at the time didn't know a whole lot about Jose, but thought that he might have been Jay Lee's boyfriend at the time. So we run down every avenue that we can. So we talked to him and end up clearing him and figured out that no, they're just really good friends.
Tell me about another.
Because the family don't understand it.
Yeah,
that's why. Like you could clearly see by the photo that they ain't even each other type.
They just good friends.
They're friends and they go scope the same type.
Yeah. Other suspect or person of interest that you all looked into.
LeBroderick Peterson.
And why was he a person of interest?
So LeBroderick was a person of interest because he was one of the people that had texted Jay Lee earlier in that morning or late in that night of the 7th, 8th. He was one of the recent contacts in Jay Lee's phone records. We talked to Khalid Fears. Of course, he was one of the first ones or one of the last ones to talk to him. In a murder investigation or in a missing persons investigation, you got to clear everybody. You got to kind of go look through anybody that you can. Kent Ware.
What about Rashad Hayes?
We also looked into Timberland Mathis, looked into Devon Franklin. Blaine Brown was one of the last people
this is why Tim's lawyer tried, because there's multiple people that Jay
is in
communication with. So he's trying to
it's
paint this picture that Jay is
sleeping around with all
frivolous.
These different people.
Would you say frivolous?
Yeah.
Individual, and trying to say that basically he has a plethora of partners that y'all should be looking into, and not just my
client.
Yeah.
There was digital communication between him and Lee.
And were any of these people confirmed to be in the area of Lafayette Place Apartments at this time?
No, they were not.
Do any of these people live at Lafayette Place Apartments?
No.
And the conversation that you all were looking into, the one between RedEye and Jay Lee, were any of these people behind that account?
No, they were not.
Who was behind that account?
Timothy Harrington.
Many of these persons of interest were eliminated from consideration based in part on their cell phone location data. Location data, however, also showed Tim, or at least his phone, at his apartment, not driving Jay Lee's vehicle.
And that's
the hard part.
But we all know, like, if you, I'm not gonna say that, but
yeah,
of a commission of a crime, most people have their phone on them.
Yeah.
The smarter ones don't have their phone on them. I know everybody's like, oh, they trying to put tracking devices on us. They already do. Every app you use nowadays say, hey, your location services have to be turned on to utilize this app.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you on, even your internet browser, you have to turn on your location services. So we all hit accept so we can be able to get through.
Yeah.
So you hit accept, you're being tracked.
Yep.
So, the only thing he did was left and he wore gloves.
Yep.
He probably keeps a pair of gloves around.
He moves.
He moves.
Normally, the time they wearing gloves.
The only thing, because even if y'all found DNA, like a hair follicle, because he had shorts but he tried to wear long sleeves, just in case if he had any blood dripping. He wore long sleeves and gloves on, right? Mm-hmm. When he got out the car, he took the gloves off and put them in his pocket or something. But you see, he also had the hoodie more up, so he probably pulled the hoodie up because it's also hot that day. It's what's this? July. It's hot as hell in July.
In Mississippi.
In Mississippi.
Yeah.
Y'all see when he was running with 86 degrees already.
Right.
You gonna pass the hell out. That's why he had to come up out of
That's
gonna be
not
hot.
stuff that you going jogging in.
Nah, not in
So
July.
that
Not
alone
July, Mississippi.
for me is kind of like what, you know what I'm saying? Like
but
for real.
it's
But
the
yeah,
cover up just in case he got scars or something
Yeah.
on his arm. The blood. He honestly, he sounds like he's a very educated brother. He knew I need to take certain precautions, even to move the vehicle to another apartment complex that ain't attached to either one of us.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you what an average criminal would do. They would have took the car back to Jay Lee apartment, and they would have been on surveillance at Jay Lee apartment.
Yeah.
He ain't this dumbest motherfucker in the world. You know what I'm saying? He's highly intelligent enough to even understand, let me jump this at a random apartment complex. Let me jog. Obviously, you already know to be jogging.
Yeah.
You already,
that wasn't out, that wasn't
out
like
the
out the
norm.
norm.
For somebody come pick you up. Because he did have a phone on him, so he couldn't call him. They are well known. Somebody, hey, oh man, I done got so hot out here,
They
man.
probably well known on campus as well. So it's just somebody drive a girl, go to school. Oh, hey.
Or somebody random come pick him up and scoop him. He was like, oh, hey, you mind? I done got hot. It's hotter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You mind dropping me off at, yeah, you know. He's smart. He's smart, bro. But no matter what, you ain't that damn smart.
No, taking somebody.
The defense closed its case by arguing that Jay Lee could have driven the car to the Molly Bar student complex himself. Prosecutor Ben Creekmore argued that Tim Harrington killed Jay Lee and then hid his body as a way to also conceal his own secret, to protect his lie.
How does the state...
Even if he didn't kill him, I'm just saying, like, by them even going through this information in his phone, it was going to be found anyways. So
that's what I was saying earlier. Like,
it was going to get out regardless.
Some way, somehow, it was going to. If you don't want to live in your truth, baby, then
if you regretted the decision afterwards, you should just be like, man, I did the wrong decision. I thought I was doing something I wanted.
It just doesn't make sense. And
then Jay Lee friend sat there on the stand and said he ain't the type to out people. Like, whatever, but you sure want
you in your own head.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry.
Established beyond a reasonable doubt that Jay Lee was not alive with Tim Harrington when the car arrived at Molly Bar Church. No one's testified that they identified Mr. Harrington driving the car. Think about the fact that fingerprints that were found in his car were Jay Lee's fingerprints. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. How did the state establish beyond a reasonable doubt that Jay Lee was not alive when Timmy Harrington left for Walmart and returned?
5:58, Jay Lee leaving the apartment. In that picture, you can see key to his car. You can see the phone where he was talking to Colette Phillips. And you can see Jay Lee in his robe and slippers. The last person to ever have custody and control of those keys is Tim Harrington. The last person to have custody and control of that phone is Tim Harrington. You know that, tracking that car, Molly Bar Trails spot where that phone goes to. We know that key was there because you had to have the key to drive the car. The last person to ever have his hands on Jay Lee is Tim Harrington. And you know what? Because of Tim Harrington's actions, nobody was able to find the key.
After the first 5 hours of deliberations, the jury sent a note to Judge Kelly Luther, stating that they would be unable to reach a verdict. The judge urged them to continue, which they did. Once more, they sent a note inquiring what to do if they could not agree. Eventually, they were called back into court, stating that a unanimous verdict was impossible.
The further deliberations resolve this. Jury, that another juror of that same opinion? Yes. All right. I thank you for your effort. I'm going to declare a mistrial.
Good thing about the judicial system in America, a mistrial does not mean you cannot be tried for it.
Yep.
Would not be tried for it again, I say. Now, if the ruling verdict was not guilty, there's no double jeopardy. So you cannot be tried for it yet again. So just because of a mistrial, some people get overexcited about a mistrial. All we need is some more evidence.
Yep.
You're going back to trial for the same.
And I hope they get it.
The final vote was 11-1 in favor of conviction. The dissenting juror, who wished to remain anonymous, later told media that one of the main reasons for their not guilty vote was that no body was found and that some of the evidence did not add up.
Oh,
prosecutors
my
announced their intention.
That's all you need.
Oh my goodness!
That's
I know
all you
that's
need.
all you need. Oh my gosh!
But again, a lot of lawyers they push for a mistrial, and they make you feel and think if I get a mistrial, I got away with a crime. No, because a lot of lawyers would be like, "Damn, this is a hard case. I just need one. To hang the jury." And in the lawyer hands, this is a W, right? Because you're not convicted for the case, bro. It's 11-1.
I did not know.
They knew whoever the one is. They knew there was no convincing in the world. Ain't no point of us wasting time and effort. It's one tainted juror.
Oh, because there was
one tainted juror. That juror probably got some type of different vendetta. Or got ill will about something. And that's all they needed was that one juror. But you still can lose the trial because you got to go back to trial for it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Some of the evidence did not add up. Prosecutors announced their intention to retry the case. Less than 2 months after the mistrial, on the 3rd of February, 2025, deer hunters in Carroll County off of County Road 65 at an illegal dumping site discovered human remains. 2 days later, they were confirmed to be those of Jimmy J. Lee. Carroll County is located an hour and a half southwest of Oxford. Few additional details have been released regarding the potential evidence connecting Jay's remains to Tim Harrington. A cause of death, if determined, has not been made public.
True.
Lafayette County prosecutors, however, have re-indicted Timothy Harrington for capital murder with an additional charge.
Timothy Harrington Jr., staring forward, not speaking, headed back to Lafayette County Jail after being arraigned on a new charge of tampering with physical evidence, on top of a capital murder charge in the death of Jimmy J. Lee. Harrington pleaded not guilty and was denied bond. Lee's parents encouraged by the latest developments in Lafayette County Circuit Court.
Justice is getting close to being served. It's an ongoing process. We know it doesn't happen overnight, but we're forever with faith.
Timothy has reportedly let go of Kevin Horan as his defense attorney and has been assigned a public defender. As of the publication of this video, a new trial date has not been announced.
Now.
The decision to pursue the death penalty in this second trial is under consideration. That was the tragic case of Jimmy J. Lee.
Great video.
Justice is
Great video though.
Yeah,
a lot of details that I wasn't aware of. A lot of details that I'm glad that is out there. Yo, see?
That pissed me off.
So 9 times out of 10, what happened is Tim's parents have lost a lot of money behind this. You don't go from having a paid lawyer to a public defender like that with your family got money. They lost money behind it. And you got to think about it. The pastor's reputation going to go down. The family reputation going to go down. This is Mississippi.
Yep.
Now your son is known to be messing around with gay men. Again, y'all got to understand with Mississippi, the Bible Belt area. Like, these are true things that happens in those natures. I'm from just a few hours north of Mississippi. I've been to Mississippi several few times. They strong coming up out there because it's still so stuck in time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you got to think the family reputation is probably a little tainted. And they probably has felt, you know what I'm saying, a lot from all of this. Not only is your son, now people know your son gay, but also your son is a murderer. And it's a murder in y'all family.
Yep.
That's the reason why they had to get outsiders to come and be jurors.
Yep.
Man. But I do pray Jay Lee does get the justice that he does deserve.
Yeah.
All signs shows that Tim did it. All signs. Googling strangulations. All you got to do is know what strangulation is. You can automatically understand. There ain't that much evidence gonna be in there. You know what I'm saying?
The search history, you
The
search stuff.
last person he was communicating with was
Tim.
Person. Tim. He also told Tim, open up, open the door. I'm headed back to your spot, and then I get there, open up. Last form of communication.
Everything.
Only thing, if somebody randomly came and snatched him when he was pulling out the drive, when he was pulling up to your parking spot coming out, somebody randomly came. That's the only thing that could have been possible. And that's far-fetched.
But then
because there would have been a struggle ensuing of some other thing, and people would have heard something. Because it's 6 o'clock in the morning. If somebody came and tried to snatch him up, rob him or something, his debit card, a lot of stuff.
Right. That'll be more of a robbery type of ordeal.
Robbery.
Right? But then that doesn't. Then you can't explain how did you end up getting access to his car to go on the job.
But again, they can't pinpoint the fact that was Tim. But we all know.
Yeah, okay.
We all know.
You're right. I have to think as if I don't know.
Strong evidence.
This, you know.
That's not strong evidence because Tim was too damn dark. Because I'll say this: if we could be able to see inside the vehicle and see if the individual had the clothing the individual had on that was driving, if the car was a fishbowl, we wouldn't be able to be like, that same person jogging is the person that's driving the car. We can't see that. We can't tell that. So we can indicate that person that was jogging was Tim. But because the tint on Jay Lee's car was so dark, it's hard to indicate who was actually behind that wheel of the car.
Well, anyway.
But insinuation, we
I just pray that Jay Lee gets the justice that he rightfully deserves, because
the autopsy reports I don't think has came out and said that Jay Lee was strangled. I
have to look into it.
Let me see. I know they have found the body. I know they have found, but they haven't yet determined whether his cause of death. Mm-hmm. But they have been able to determine that it is him. All indication, even from him having his necklace on.
Yeah.
That was one indicator, though. But, man, if y'all enjoyed those, if y'all enjoy segments like this, let us know in the comment section down below so we can be able to bring more of things like this over here. Just outside of body cam, we could get more true crime, you know what I'm saying? Just diversify a little bit more. We won't have to try to do a body cam every day, but, you know. You got any final things you want to say?
I don't.
He gonna lose. He got a public defender now. That public defender, it's different from having a public defender and an actual paid lawyer. Paid lawyer rooted for a mistrial. That's what he went in there. I can get a mistrial. I just need one. But a paid attorney ain't finna do. I mean, a court-appointed attorney ain't finna do that. And now he's also no bond, which is good too.
I will say by the time, like, whenever, because there's no actual court date yet, right? Anything
no
could
trial
change
date, yeah.
as far as, like, the lawyer.
What you mean?
I'm saying, like, he has a court-appointed attorney now, but I'm saying...
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
But anyway.
His family can go out and obtain a different lawyer.
So I'm not, like, too stuck on that,
True,
but I just pray that justice is served.
True that. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it, man, in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We out.
Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partner.